Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Brian Donlevy in a show he basically brought to NBC and to television as well. The show on television was syndicated, but the NBC show Dangerous Assignment. This episode of the program goes back to December 3rd, 1952, and it seems that Steve Mitchell is heading to the French Riviera.
Dangerous Assignment. Transcribed, starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
Yeah, danger is my assignment. I get sent to a lot of places I can't even pronounce. They all spell the same thing, though, trouble. But when I walk into the commissioner's office, I don't realize that this assignment's going to prove that you can sometimes hang a killer sky high with a little piece of string. Morning, Commissioner. You sent for me?
Steve, you ever hear of the Italian movie actress named Yolanda?
Sure. She's made so many rice field pictures, I understand she's got waterlogged kneecaps.
How'd you like to meet her?
Oh, just hand me a pair of hip boots and I'm on my way.
You'll find her on the French Riviera. Her yacht is anchored at Nice. We're particularly interested in the guests she has aboard.
How so, Commissioner?
Steve, one of the most vicious pre-war rackets is in operation again. A racket that cost American citizens thousands and thousands of dollars in payoff money for the protection of relatives living in Eastern Germany, Hungary, and Romania.
Yeah, built up quite a fund for Adolf's rise to power, didn't it?
This time we're certain it's being run as a private enterprise. It started up some 6 months ago under the direction of the same man who handled it for the Nazis.
That would be Herzog, colonel of Gestapo.
Right, only someone else seems to have taken over the racket, and the colonel's little black book. Herzog died suddenly in Lisbon 2 months ago.
So how does all this tie in with the Italian movie queen?
An American named Ernest Hall, vacationing in Nice, had the bite put on him for $25,000 last week.
Did he pay up?
Yes, he was afraid harm would come to some of his family still living in Eastern Germany. Now, Hall is certain the head of this racket is aboard that yacht. Get over there, Steve. Check with him. Find out who's behind all this and smash it. Oh, that's it. You've got your assignment. Good luck.
The National Broadcasting Company is presenting Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy in the role of Steve Mitchell, colorful two-fisted government agent. At all those places of the world where danger and intrigue walk hand in hand, there you will find Steve Mitchell on another Dangerous Assignment.
Sure, I've got my assignment. Get over to the French Riviera, check with an American who's had to pay off protection money for members of his family living in Germany. Find out who's running the racket and break it up. It's late Thursday afternoon when my plane lands. The American, Ernest Hall, is waiting for me in his hotel room.
I was afraid for my relatives, Mr. Mitchell. That's why I didn't call the authorities until now. I wanted nothing to go wrong. I decided it would be best to investigate quietly after the payment had been made.
All right, Hall, let's start from the beginning. When did you get the pitch?
Sunday evening. A letter had been slipped under my door. The note contained a demand for payment of $25,000. A threat against the lives of an Aunt Anelia Halderstadt and 2 cousins, Jan and Joseph.
Halderstadt? Would that by any chance...
Yes, my father's name. I changed it to Hall when I arrived in America many years ago.
I see. How long have you been vacationing here in Nice?
A month.
Run into any old acquaintances? Someone who knows your real name is Halderstadt?
Yes, as a matter of fact, a week ago aboard the yacht. Eric Vogel is an old friend. We came from the same village, and naturally we talked to people we'd known, our families and so on.
And when you got that note Sunday evening...
Oh, no. I couldn't bring myself to suspect that Eric was behind all this. There were others at the party aboard the yacht.
Any one of them could have overheard your conversation, learned that your real name was Halderstadt. Okay, who were the others?
Well, the actress Yolanda, of course, was there. It's her yacht. Then also a French newspaper man named Albert Beauvais, an Englishman named Chipping, and Lal Hubli, a Hindu.
That all?
There were two others. Felix De Luca, he is Yolanda's director, and George something or other. I didn't get his last name.
Okay, now, about the payoff.
Well, last night a box containing the money was placed under a bridge on the road to Antibes.
You see anyone?
No, I didn't go. Albert Beauvais did.
The newspaper man?
Yes. You see, he was with me Sunday evening when the letter came. So, naturally, we talked about it. The note instructed me to remain in my hotel room here and send someone with the money. Beauvais volunteered.
I see. Look, I'd like to meet these people. Beauvais, Chipping, George, what's his name?
I can arrange it. I am expected aboard the yacht in an hour. Cocktails. They'll all be there.
Fine.
Now, I should warn you, Mr. Mitchell. These friends of Yolanda, they're of artistic temperament. Their actions are somewhat droll, strange. You might call them eccentric.
Or just plain screwball, huh? All right, let's go. Well, I've met some characters in my time, but nothing like the wacky group assembled aboard Yolanda's yacht. The queen herself is attired in a leopard skin bathing suit, dark glasses, a floppy sombrero with a fur 4-foot brim. She's tossing grapes across the room to a gent who's standing on his head in the corner with his mouth open. The Hindu, draped in his sheet, is sitting cross-legged on the bar, and he's cracking walnuts with his teeth. Paul introduces me to Yolanda, and a split second later, the door bursts open. Two gents race into the room. Each of them is armed with a saber.
That was Chipping, and the one called George.
I didn't even get to say hello.
They will be back. Come on, Joe. You sit down here next to Yolanda. Sit down, Joe.
The name is Steve.
I don't like it, but I like you. And everybody I like, I call a Joe. Come on, Joe. Sit down now. Relax. Light me a cigarette.
Sure.
A martini, Steve?
Yeah, but easy on the olives. I may have to drive tonight.
You didn't meet everybody, Joe. Over there is Lal.
Lal?
And that one is DeLuca. Hi, DeLuca. Get over your head. Say hello to Joe, huh?
Hello! Viva Graziano! Viva Rocky!
Here's your cigarette, Yolanda.
Oh, thanks. You know, I like you. You've got a class.
I owe it all to the Continental.
Oh, television, eh? So you're from USA, huh,
That's
Joe?
right, Yolanda. Ever been there?
Some of the years, son. We're going to make a picture there. DeLuca, he's writing it now. A beautiful story, Joe. It is just beautiful.
Hey, if you like it, Joe. Hey, it's about a young girl.
I'm telling you, DeLuca. Now, this young girl, Joe, she picks oranges.
Grapes.
Oranges?
Grapes. I ought to know. I'm a writing.
I'm sick of grapes. Always I'm jumping on grapes into my bare feet.
You can't jump on oranges.
Stupid, who wants to jump on oranges?
I'll have a go at it, my dear.
Now, you keep out of this, Mr. Chief.
Sorry. Back to the walls, George, old chap. Come on, on guard. On guard. Ow. Touche. Very good.
Oh, I say, you're a new chap here, aren't you?
Yeah, the name's Mitchell, Steve Mitchell.
Oh, I'm Chipping. No jokes, please. And this is Georgie. I can't remember his last name.
Hello, Steve. Just call me George. What is this business about Racket?
I was trying to tell Joe the story of my next picture. It's about a girl who picks oranges.
Poor but honest, hard-working and all that sort of stuff, eh? A proud, stout heart beating beneath her tattered sweatshirt. Falls in love with a gentleman farmer named Rodney. He's a cad, of course.
Who told you?
Oh, I say, really, that's a bit of old hat, you know.
What's old hat's got to do with it? You don't know this story at all, no?
I'd love to hear about it, by all means, my dear. I place myself at your feet.
Okay, while you're down there, you untie my sandals. My feet are killing me. It's jumping on those lousy grapes.
Well, Yolanda launches into a dramatic account of the plot, a tender, heartwarming story of love, greed, and hate among the smudge pots. Suddenly, the salon door swings open. A short, heavy-set gent stands there with a mask over his face, a .45 in one hand, a small satchel in the other.
Hi. What are you doing? What's it?
Shut up, sister. This is a heist.
A heist? What is it he's talking?
A stick-up, Yolanda. A hold-up.
There's the bag, gents. Let's have your wallets, watches, rings, anything that'll bring a buck. Dump 'em in there.
Now, just a minute, sport.
Let's get with it. Ain't got all night. You first, Mac.
Sure. Only call me George, huh? That's me, sport. George!
Okay, George, get up. And don't try that again, see?
Oh, don't try.
Next one of you gents who gets funny winds up with a slug in him. Now, come on. Shell out.
little gent picks up the bag, backs out of the room, and then he's gone. I take 3 quick steps to the door, stick my head outside. The slug chips a hunk of mahogany just over my head. Then I hear footsteps going down the gangplank. I take off on the double. Freddie Hall is right behind me.
Do you see him, Mitchell?
I think he ducked around the warehouse. Come on, we'll cut through here. Hold it.
What is it?
Someone coming up alongside the building, and he's in a hurry. Hold it, Buster.
What? Good work, Mitchell.
On your feet, Buster. Let's have a look at you. Got a light, Hall?
Yes. Yes, here we are. Mitchell?
What's the matter? You recognize this gent?
It's Albert Beauvais, the newspaper man.
Oh.
Beauvais, you all right?
Oh, Monsieur Hall, it's you, huh? Hey, where is he? He must not get away. Now, let me go.
Take it easy. Who are you talking about?
The man who robbed those aboard the yacht. I hired him.
You hired him?
What does all this mean, Beauvais?
It was a plan. That the money you gave me to place under the bridge last night, Monsieur Hall, I had marked it, don't you see?
So you staged this holdup and hoped you'd trace the marked money?
Oui, alors. He was trying to bring the wallets to me.
Of all the screwball... Look, Beauvais, where does he hang out?
Oh, a small hotel, not far from here.
Come on, we better get over there fast. We hustle over to a broken-down hotel on the waterfront. Beauvais and Hall hurry into the lobby, and while Beauvais conducts an arm-waving conversation with the man behind the desk, I duck down the alley and back of the hotel. I don't have long to wait. Our hold-up friend scoots out the back door, and I grab... Sure, he's a small gent, but his left has the stock of a pile driver. I'm setting him up for a right cross when my foot slips on the wet cobblestone, and as I go down, he clouts me on the side of the head with the satchel. I'm sitting on the curb, rubbing my ear, when Hall and Beauvais come pounding up.
Mitchell! Are you all right?
Yeah, but our friend got away. He left this, though.
Aha, the satchel. Here, let me have it. As you will see, my plan was not such a bad one after all. Look, yes, money. Yes, here is a bill I marked. And another.
So?
Oh, sacre bleu.
Yeah, your plan called for us to find that marked money in somebody's wallet. And we'd have our culprit. The money is here, all right, but where are the wallets?
He must have thrown them away. Now we are right back where we started from.
Steve Mitchell will continue his dangerous assignment in just a moment.
December 3rd, 1952, Dangerous Assignment here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We've told the story before that Brian Donlevy brought Dangerous Assignment to NBC, where it ran for 167 episodes between July of 1949 to July of 1953. And of course, this episode we're hearing today is from that final season. What you may not know, and I'm going to give you a couple of interesting things you might know. We've talked about the television program briefly. 39 episodes of Dangerous Assignment aired in syndication on, a lot of places. It is, however, widely available. A complete television, a 6 DVD set, a 5 DVD set is available through Amazon. But not only that, it is available for free through Tubi TV. That's TUBITV.com. And I have a Roku at home. So I don't watch a lot of the new stuff. I see a lot of the old stuff on through the Roku channel. But Tubi TV has the whole series of Dangerous Assignment with Brian Donlevy, Herb Butterfield, and Lyle Talbot. So give it a watch if you want to see what Brian Donlevy really looks like. Now let's roll on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Back to the French Riviera. Dangerous Assignment starring Brian Donlevy, December 3rd, 1952.
Now back to Dangerous Assignment and Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell.
plan backfired, Bouvet. Your hired stick-up man dumped all the money out of the wallets. Now, we don't know whose wallet the marked money came out of. Let's see, about $500 of the money in the satchel is marked.
Well, the rest of it must be hidden aboard the yacht somewhere.
Could be. Okay, suppose you start on Operation Ashcan, Bouvet. Hall and I'll see what we can pick up back at the yacht.
Operation Ashcan? What is this?
Check all the ash cans between the dock and the hotel where your stick-up boy was hiding out. See if you can find those wallets. Could be some of that marked money stuck to one of them. Hall and I head back to the yacht. Yolanda, Chipping, and George are in the lounge. I put the satchel on the table and tell them we tracked down the stick-up man, that he got away, but we recovered the money.
How much money was there?
About $2,000, George. Most of it was in the satchel, but there was $500 in his coat pocket.
Just what I lost, Sport. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're sure about the amount, eh?
Sure, I'm sure.
Well, there it is. Help yourselves. Yolanda, how much did you lose? You remember?
A couple of hundred, Joe.
Chipping?
Well, it's a bit hard to say. I've stumbled across some rare finds in Nice, and I'm not sure how much they've cost me.
Rare finds?
He's a book collector, Joe Dull.
Oh, then you don't know how much you had in your wallet.
Well, not more than 300, I should say. You see, I don't carry a great deal of cash on these trips. Letters of credit and that sort of thing, no?
Oh, I should have so much credit. He's a dirty rich, Joe.
No, filthy rich, darling.
Dirty, filthy. He'll never be cleaned, huh?
Oh, fine. Where's DeLuca?
Oh, he's attending. He was no feeling so hot.
Oh?
No, nothing like losing some money to make DeLuca no feel so hot.
Well, slip a few of these bills in his oxygen tent. It may snap him out of it.
You got a good sense of humor, Joe.
Oh, I'm a riot, Josephine.
I got a good idea why you don't come with us, huh?
Will you?
Sure. On the cruise. We're shoving off in about an hour.
Oh, where are you heading?
Oh, I thought we'd stop at Corsica and then Naples.
Then what?
Then we split up. I gotta go back to work.
Oh, okay. Thanks for the invitation, Yolanda. You've got yourself another passenger. We shove off, and along about dark, everybody gathers in the lounge for cocktails. Everybody but me. I figure this is my chance to start searching the staterooms, and George What's-His-Name is currently at the top of my suspect list because of the way he tried to stop the holdup, and later, a prompt claim he put in for the $500. So I give his cabin a frisk, but I can't find anything. I step out in the passageway and turn to close the door behind me. Suddenly, something hard connects back of my ear. It knocks me to my knees. I can hear somebody taking off down the passageway. I stagger to my feet and brush the cobwebs out of my brain, then pound along the passageway around the corner. What? Oh.
Oh, well, Mitchell, I came below to warn you.
Warn me?
Yes, I saw DeLuca leave the lounge a few minutes ago. I thought he might have come down here.
I see.
What happened?
I got hit on the head.
Must have been DeLuca.
Maybe. He took off in a hurry.
Did you find anything in George's stateroom?
No. I'll try Bouvet's next.
Wait a minute. Sounds like they're all coming below to change for dinner.
Great. Okay, looks like I'll have to wait for another chance. But I don't get another chance that night. After dinner, Yolanda wants to play charades, so we all have to choose up sides. Lal Hubli, the Hindu, sits in one corner, cracking walnuts and keeping score. When the game finally breaks up, everybody turns in, so I'm out of luck. The next morning, when I come out on deck, Corsica is in sight. Yolanda and DeLuca are standing at the rail.
This is my homeland, Corsica. All night I dream about it. A great island, Mitchell. Home of great people.
You and Napoleon, huh?
Please. Put Napoleon first. Napoleon and me.
Poor DeLuca. He thought he was going to be one more Napoleon during the war.
It was nothing.
Oh, he's a sore eye to Joe. Instead of the battlefield, he got a desk job. It was a liaison officer in Berlin.
The word Berlin hits me like a hammer. That little black book which started this whole deal used to be in the custody of a Nazi named Herzog in Berlin. DeLuca could have hooked up with him there. At this point, he seems to be edging George out of the top spot on my list. An hour later, we dock, and the happy little group streams off the yacht for a gay day ashore. But the trouble is, they insist that I stream along with them. In the middle of the afternoon, we split up. I get back to the yacht first with Yolanda and George. I'm just starting up along the deck when I spot Chipping coming up the gangplank with a couple of books under his arm and waving his cane frantically at me.
Mitchell, I say, Mitchell, a find, a positive find.
A what?
I was browsing in a bookshop, and I just happened to stumble across these. Can you imagine?
What are they?
Ancient textbooks of the gladiator school. That's where fencing really started, you know? Look here, old man. Do you see these illustrations? See? There. It's been the prevalent theory that the glide or sliding thrust is a comparatively recent maneuver, but you see, it's the same thing. Look, I'll show you with my cane. You go like this, you see?
Hey!
I'm so sorry.
Look, take that cane and...
I'm terribly sorry, old boy. I thrust when I should have glided.
Well, as long as I know that makes everything all right. Now, try your thrust on somebody else, will you?
Yes, I will. I must find George.
Yeah, you do that. Oh, brother.
December 3rd, 1952, Dangerous Assignment on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of Dangerous Assignment, December 3rd, 1952.
Oh, DeLuca, I didn't see you standing there.
I come to look for you. Yolanda says, tell everybody cocktails.
Okay, tell her I'll be along in a couple of minutes. I stay up on deck until I see all of them come up to the lounge. Then I head below. DeLuca's stateroom is first on my list. I go over it carefully, but there's no sign of the money. I move to Chipping's room next to it and search it. Nothing. I know I've got to work fast before they miss me. Yolanda's room is next. I give it a thorough frisk, but I'm getting nowhere. Then I spot something in her wastebasket, a piece of green string. Suddenly I remember Chipping's books had been tied with green string. I remember something else, too. There was no sign of those books in Chipping's stateroom. I look around Yolanda's room. There's a bookcase built into one wall. I go over to it. The lower shelves are crammed with novels, but then on the top shelf I spot what I'm looking for, Chipping's rare books on fencing. I climb up on a chair, pull one of them out. Yeah, the pages have been cut away, and the book is full of money.
Nice work, Mitchell.
What? Well, hello, Chipping.
Yes, I was afraid I might find you here. Please stay right where you are for the moment.
So, you're the boy who's been running the racket, huh?
I told you I was a book collector. Herzog's little black book has a prominent place in my collection. Amazing how the people whose names are listed in it will pay to keep anything from happening to friends in Eastern Europe.
Like Hall, for instance? This money is what you got from him, isn't it?
Yes. I suspected you were searching everyone's room, so I thought the books would be a good hiding place. At the last place you'd look would be in Yolanda's room.
If I hadn't spotted the string, I probably wouldn't have thought of it.
Oh, no use crying over spilled string. There's no harm done since you're the only one who knows. Now, you hand me those books?
Okay, here. Have some more. Sorry. Oh, I'll take that gun. It's hard to shoot with a face full of books, isn't it, Chipping?
Books, Mitchell.
Yeah, kind of a dirty trick sweeping a shelf full down on you, but after all, you made such a point to being a book collector, I thought I'd just add a few more to your collection, the hard way.
Our star, Brian Donlevy, will return in just a moment. Have you started your Christmas wishing yet? Well, this is the season for it, the season when we wish we could do the most for our families, our friends, and our loved ones. All of us express that wish when we say those joyous words, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. But as the old song says, wishing won't make it so. How much better it would be if you could really do something to make that wish come true. Well, the point is you can do something. You can buy Christmas seals. Yes, Christmas seal money helps pay for chest X-ray campaigns, which search out those who have TB and don't know it, so they can be treated to save their lives and to protect yours. The Christmas seals you buy today may help to find, through chest X-rays, some of the 150,000 persons in our country who have TB without knowing it. Finding their TB early, when it's easiest to cure, may mean many happy New Years to come for them. Wishing won't help, but buying Christmas seals will. Buy Christmas seals and you turn wishes into good health.
Next week, Austria, a border incident with me in the middle.
That will be Steve Mitchell's Dangerous Assignment next week. Included in tonight's cast were Howard McNear, Betty Lou Gerson, Nestor Parva, Ben Wright, and Paul Dubov. This is John Storm speaking. Dangerous Assignment, starring Brian Donlevy as Steve Mitchell, with Herb Butterfield as the commissioner, is written by Bob Reif and Adrian Jondeau, and is directed by Bill Karn. Be with us again next week at this same time, when Brian Donlevy, starring in the role of Steve Mitchell, will embark on another transcribed Dangerous Assignment.
December 3rd, 1952, Dangerous Assignment on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, an episode of The Cinnamon Bear. This episode, with Presto the Magician, goes back to December 3rd of 1937.
And here's the Cinnamon Bear.
And now let's take a look at Judy and Jimmy and their friends, the Cinnamon Bear and the Crazy Quilt Dragon. Things seem to be happening left and right. Wesley, the Wailing Whale, swallowed their silver star and finally got it off his chest when Crazy Quilt tickled him and made him cough it up. Samuel the Seal caught it and started to juggle it. Higher and higher he tossed the star, and then, alack, Penelope the Pelican snatched it in midair and off she flew. As Cinnamon Bear would say, this is a pretty kettle of halibuts.
Oh, dear. Every time I think about our star, I want to cry. Seems like we just never will get it back. Don't you suppose we ought to just head out into the root beer ocean and keep looking, Cinnamon Bear?
I don't think that would be so wise, Judy.
I should say not. Not until I've eaten my 4 barrels of corks. 'Twould be a sad thing for us to get started and then have me get all soaked up with root beer. Oh,
What's funny, Crazy Quilt?
I was just thinking, maybe we could find us a root beer float.
Oh, this is no time for bum jokes, Crazy.
Oh, I thought it rather good myself.
It's not. Now, Judy, I don't think it would do any good to head out into the root beer ocean. We haven't the extra slightest notion of which way the Pelican was flying.
Well, right now I don't care much about anything. I'm so hungry.
Food. Now that you mention it, Jimmy, I could trifle with a few dozen lollipops myself.
And sure, and I haven't had any cinnamon buns for some time. If I want to keep extra special ferocious, I just must have my cinnamon buns.
Suppose we all hop on Crazy Quilt's back and get back to land again.
Capital. I'm all dried out now, and it isn't very far. Climb aboard, my friend.
Yeah, how about those Incaboos? Can't we go further up the coast a bit and avoid them? Soak my stuffing if I ever want to meet up with them again.
None of us would, Cinnamon Bear.
I'll head sort of north by East Northley, and that'll bring us to a shore quite a bit out of their territory.
You've no idea how good that sounds to me ears, Crazy Quilt. Come on, let's go.
Sure thing. I'll get you ashore before you can say Jack Robinson.
Jack Robinson.
Oh, that's not fair, Judy. I wasn't ready.
You can't swim that fast, Crazy Quilt, and you know it.
Maybe so, maybe no. But just hang on tight and see how you like this.
Oh, look, he's using his tail for a propeller. Boy, get him along, Kathy. Right through the water with Jordan, lighten and piping.
That was a quickie, Crazy Quilt.
I'll say it was.
Oh, I was just poking along.
Oh, you don't say so. Well, if you'd have gone any faster, it would have blown all my fur off.
My goodness, Crazy Quilt. This looks awful steep along here.
Wait a minute. Who's that over there by that big rock?
Why, it's a man. And isn't he funny looking? He hasn't got any sleeves in his coat.
And would you look at that hat? It's so big it completely covers his face.
And look, Judy. Look at all those white rabbits following him. Willikers. Why, there must be about 20 of them.
Oh, it must be. It is.
Is who?
Fade my colors if it isn't that measly magician, Mr. Presto.
You mean he's a bad man, Crazy Quilt?
Oh, no, not that, but he's a bad magician. He takes magic lessons by correspondence.
He means by mail, Judy.
Right, and he insists on trying his half-baked magic on everything and anybody. Last time I met up with him, he practiced a bit on me. I shall never forget it.
Well, what did he do, Crazy Quilt?
Well, pride will not permit me to tell you, Jimmy. My Crazy Quilt ancestors would turn over in their graves.
Greetings, my old friend Crazy Quilt. Greetings and salutations. So glad to see you again. And how's your Uncle Gregory?
He seems very pleasant, Crazy Quilt.
I refuse to make further comment. For a minute, anyway.
If he's a magician, maybe he can help us get our silver star back.
Well. This is a treat if I do say so. And who are your friends, Crazy Quilt?
Oh, hello, Presto. May I make you acquainted with Judy and Jimmy and Patio Cinema?
How do you do? Any friend of Crazy Quilt's is a friend of mine, as I always say. So glad to see you, and how are you?
How's about a few carrots, huh? Us rabbits is gonna get tough if you don't crack through with some grub, and we don't mean maybe, see?
Pardon me, Mr. Presto, but did that white rabbit say that, or are you a ventriloquist?
No, that was the rabbit, unfortunately. I produced him and about 20 others while I was doing my homework on magic lesson number 4. I take magic lessons by mail, very good, too, but after I produced all these rabbits out of my hat, I couldn't get rid of them. Keep following me around all the time and yelling for carrots. Very annoying, very annoying.
But if you're a magician, why don't you make them disappear? Then they wouldn't bother you.
Alas, I'm unable to do that. Lesson number 5 on how to make white rabbits disappear with nothing up your sleeve was lost in the mail.
Oh, that's too bad. By the way, Mr. Presto, if you don't mind my saying so, I think you ought to get a hat that fits you. It keeps slipping down all over your face all the time. It's twice too big for you.
Good business, fellow, just good business. I'm twice as good as any magician living. Gotta have a hat twice as big.
Maybe so, Presto. But inasmuch as it's resting on your Adam's apple most of the time, it seems to me you're talking through your hat.
Scorn me if you will, Crazy Quilt, but so help me Houdini if you don't mind your tongue. One of these days when I get to lesson 23, I'll turn you into a lounge lizard and
Said
then
you moldy old magician. Why, I'll pull your hat so far down over your face you'll be able to wear it for a skirt.
Here, control yourself, boys. Control yourself. Calm down.
That's what I say. Besides, I want to ask Mr. Presto here some special questions.
Only too happy to accommodate you, young man. Only too happy to accommodate you.
What I want to know is, why don't you have any sleeves in your coat?
Simple, my child, simple. If I don't have any sleeves, folks will know I have nothing up them.
And are you a good magician, Mr. Presto?
Good, I'm slightly terrific. I'll demonstrate.
Well, there's only one kind of magic we'd be interested in right now. We're awful hungry. Can you get us something to eat?
Food, simplest thing in the world. Learn that in lesson 15. That is the fundamental. So happens that the great Presto is a snozzaroo when it comes to producing eatables. Your orders, please, just name it.
Cinnamon buns for me with currants and plain icing.
Not that I think you can produce anything, Presto, but I could toy with about 3 Loganberry lollipops.
Well, I want something that's regular food. You can make mine a ham and egg sandwich, and you don't have to toast it either.
I think I'd like that too, Mr. Presto.
All simple stuff. I'll start with the ham and egg sandwiches first. I place my hat on the ground, cover it with my kerchief, a few choice words, hocus pocus, ipso facto, abracadabra, and erasmataz. Remove the handkerchief from the hat and...
You've got the makings all right, but I don't think I could eat a real live pig and a chicken.
Up to your old stuff, eh, Presto?
Am I mortified? So sorry. Million apologies. How about a few card tricks?
I'm afraid you're a frost, Presto. Now, How about finding lost things? Are you any good at that?
Right down my alley. Lesson 17. What have you lost?
It's our silver star, Mr. Presto. It belongs on top our Christmas tree, and we just got to get it back.
Silver star? Excuse me while I go into a quick trance. Oh, I'm getting it. Oh, it's traveling over water. Oh, a bird has it. A pelican has it.
That's more like it.
You're all right, Presto. You're all right.
If you're so good at knowing where things are, perhaps your magic can bring back Penelope the pelican, back with the silver star.
Simplicity itself. In a moment, you'll see her step out of my silk hat. Watch a wave of the wand this time. And behold the pelican.
Oh, that's no pelican. It's a halibut.
Such goings on. Nothing sacred anymore, not even a halibut. Pooey do, sir, and goodbye.
Oh, please, just a slight error someplace. Let me try again. Behold.
Don't look now, Presto, but I think you've got something there.
Why, it's a penguin.
Yes, a penguin I am, and if I may say so, raspberries to all of you. Goodbye.
Please, I beg of you, just one more chance.
All right, but this is the last time.
Behold!
You did it! It's Penelope!
Hooray!
That this should happen to me. Penelope the Pelican, descended from a long line of respectable pelicans. You'll answer for this. I'll write a letter, that's what I'll do. You'll hear from me, sir. How dare you interrupt a blue-blooded pelican when she's flying along and minding her own business? Why, your cheap vaudeville magic jerked me so violently, I thought I'd lose my back feathers, and then to be pulled out of a silk hat. Let's see the label. Oh, cheap stuff, and second-hand at that.
Where's our silver star you took away from the seal when he was juggling it?
Oh, that thing. A pretty bauble, too. Well, I was flying over the island of Obi when this 10th-rate magician jerked the daylights out of me and I dropped it.
Oh, dear.
Did you see where it landed on the island?
How could I? It all happened like a flash. And now, if you ruffians are quite finished, good day. And wait till my congressman hears about this, the very idea.
Oh, whatever will we do now? We're farther away from the silver star than ever.
Oh, don't cry, Judy. Be a regular twin, not a sniffly girl.
All right, Jimmy.
Well, Presto, what have you to say for yourself now?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. I am abject. I am prostrate. I feel like a snake in the grass.
What?
Goodness, he is a snake in the grass.
Well, sure enough. He turned right into one. And watch him wriggle away.
And let's hope he stays that way for some time. He's nothing but a nuisance.
So that's that. Well, let's not waste our time crying about what's happened. Let's start off and look for something to eat and a boat to get us over to the island of Obi.
You're right, Cinnamon Bear. Let's see what's around the other side of this rock. Come on, Jimmy. Come on, Crazy Quill.
Okay, Judy.
All right,
run
but
around.
be careful.
Mind
Watch out of your rocks. They're slippery.
Oh, what's this? Look, right up against the rock.
Why, it's a chest. And it looks like a pirate chest that you read about.
Why, so it does. And see what's written on it. Private property of Captain Taffy. Hands off.
Let's open it. Maybe there's gold in it.
Now, I'll take this side, and Jimmy, you take that other side over there. And we can...
Gee willikers, listen!
Wow! We're surrounded.
Oh, pirates, we're done for.
Oh, Jimmy!
Pirates? That's bad. Yes, indeed. From all I've read and heard about pirates, they're not especially good people to meet up with. Not at all. And next time we'll find out just what's in store for poor Judy and Jimmy and Cinnamon Bear and Crazy Quill.
December 3rd, 1937, The Cinnamon Bear, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. A reminder that my friend Ted at RadioMemories.com not only has The Cinnamon Bear, he also has a fully restored set of Lum and Abner, which you'll be hearing coming later on, and a lot of other fresh restorations that sound better than they did when they were broadcast. Contact Ted at RadioMemories.com. Cassette, CD, or flash drive. And that's what I got right here, a flash drive of Lum and Abner. Also, visit my webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can stream our shows, you can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own, and you can contact me there as well. You can also find a list of our social media sites. You can find lists of podcast sites that have our shows available for download. And if you want to help us acquire additional classic radio collections, you can buy me a coffee. That's all at classicradio.stream. That's classicradio.stream. By the way, that buy me a coffee money, I don't drink coffee. The buy me a coffee money goes to help us acquire additional classic radio collections, and it also helps us ensure our distribution channels stay available. That's all at classicradio.stream. All right, thanks this station, please. Thank them. Support their advertisers, and as always, tell your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite radio station.